Hi, welcome to Zephyr's Garage. My name is Randy, and unfortunately today is the day we put the cars away for the winter. So stay tuned and we'll show you what we do to get our cars prepped for winter storage. Well, I'm inside the Thunderbird, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this down to the car wash and give it a quick wash. I hate to put the car away dirty for the winter. It just makes you feel better about getting the car out in the spring and taking it for a ride when when the weather finally breaks. If the car is sitting there dirty, and then the first thing you got to do before you take it out is wash it, kind of takes a little bit off of doing that. So we're going to run down to the car wash, get this thing washed, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how we prep the car for winter. So let's get going. Probably thinking, why am I in an automatic car wash? Well, this is a touchless car wash, and I'm using it because it's cold outside and I don't really want to wash the car myself, and this is probably the next best thing. And the car is really not that dirty. It did get driven in the rain the other day, so there is a little bit of road spray on it, and maybe a few bugs on the front. But overall, the car is fairly clean, so this will get it clean enough for what I want. Probably the one thing I forgot to do was bring a towel to dry it. I probably should have done that. But, we'll take care of that when we get back. And I went for the cheapest car wash that they offer, so I'm not getting into, all the other little steps. I just went for the basic. And I'm probably not the first person to run this car through a car wash, so, in 36 years, I'm sure it's seen a couple of car washes, but overall, I don't think it's seen very many, because the paint is pretty decent on it. This is also a good way to make sure you don't have any leaks, because when you're sitting inside the car as it's going through, so if any of your door seals or sunroof or anything leaks, you're probably going to notice it. And I'm not getting wet. Now it looks like we're all done with the wash pretty quick. They're going to do the blow dryer on it now, and then we'll be done. let's see how we did. A few bugs left on the front end. We'll get them when we get home. But it looks like I got the rest of the road grime off of it. We're take the rest of this, kind of get some of the, use some kind of quick detailer on it and get the rest of the car looking pretty good. All right, so I mentioned I was going to touch up the car when I got back to the garage, and so what I'm going to use is this speed wipe, which is a quick detailer. And you can buy different types. Meguiar's makes one, and this is something I've always used for like car shows and such, where the car's out on display and you want to get the dust off of it or just give it a little extra shine. This is a great way to do it. So I'm just going to use a microfiber towel. This is one of my drying towels, and I'm going to go around the car and I'm going to get the areas that, you know, the car wash really didn't get. So like those bugs in the front bumper, there's some water on the back bumper, it's leaving some water spots. And I just mist this on and wipe it off. That's all I do. So let's get going. All right, we're going to start here with the back bumper. I'm just going to give it a mist. There's some dirt here and such. It really didn't come off at the car wash. So I'm just going to mist this. You know, try to just use a clean section of the towel each time. Give it a wipe, and I'm getting most of that dirt right off. This is a great way if you're, you know, have to go run through the car wash and you want to clean it up and get it to look that a little bit better. It's a good way to do it. Now we're going to move on to the front bumper and get that. You can see we got these bugs, some more water spots and such. So we're just going to hit them really quick. Sometimes I take just a fingernail to loosen them up. One key is to make sure you've got a good coat of wax or ceramic coating on your vehicle. Makes it easier to get these stuff off before they kind of glue themselves onto the vehicle. There, much better. The rest of the car doesn't look that bad as far as water spots and such. I'm not going to do too much to it. Maybe give it a quick wipe down the sides. I am going to hit the wheels up because the front wheels have got some brake dust on them that didn't come off, but I'm going to do that last because I don't want any of that to contaminate the rest of the car. But we'll just go around, give it a quick wipe, and we should be done. The next step is to get the car situated in the garage. This is a 2-car garage, technically maybe almost 2.5 cars. I can get 3 cars in it, but I've got to park them inches apart to get them in here, and I leave just a narrow area to walk between them on the other side. So I'm going to pull the T-Bird out and very carefully back it in very close to the Mustang, and hopefully I don't hit it. I haven't done that yet, but that's the plan. Get these cars tight to each other, and then she'll leave just enough space to put the Focus over on that side of the garage when I'm done. Alright, so I'll show you how tight these cars are. The mirrors are actually overlapping a little bit, meaning that the T-Bird's got to go that way to pull out. But getting it that tight there gives me enough room here to put the third car in. This Focus will slide right in here, slightly on an angle, and we'll go right up here where these bicycles are, and right up tight to that compressor. So these bikes get moved out. Pretty much everything on the floor here gets moved out. Stuff that we take with us when we travel. So those will be out of the way. And we'll be set for the winter. Now, one other thing that I do for the cars while they're stored in here is I leave them on a battery tender. So this one is made by C-Tech. I've used these for years, probably over 10 years. They work great. Hooking the car up to one of these tenders, always make sure that when I come back in the spring, I can start the cars right up. I don't have any issues with dead batteries. It extends the life of my batteries. I will get multiple more years out of a battery by using this as opposed to storing it. Even if I disconnect the battery, there's a discharge that happens over time. And if that continues and the battery goes down to a certain level, especially being lead acid batteries, they lose capacity, and that's what kills batteries. So these C-Tech chargers are definitely the way to go. These are nice because they have quick connects, and I've got the other end connected to the car, so it's just a matter of plugging these right in and plugging it into the wall, and it all takes care of itself. So it automatically runs through the different cycles and makes sure that the battery's in perfect condition. Here the battery tender is plugged in. It just sits on the windshield. And at this end I pull this cable around. And right here I have a plug. Get the two of these go together. Try to do this with one hand. There. Now everything's connected. The battery is set to charge. And you can see the maintainer, it's showing that the battery is connected. It'll go through all these different phases of charging, and it will make sure that the battery's in good shape. So we let that run. I can close the hood on it. And there's really not much more I need to do. I do make sure that the gas tank has gas in it. I don't store them with a low tank, especially the Mustang, because the Mustang has a steel gas tank. I think this one is plastic, I'm not positive. And you don't want to store a steel gas tank empty because it will corrode on the inside and you have all kinds of issues. You can use a fuel stabilizer on your vehicles. I have in the past, but I don't always do that. I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference. And for at least for the time period I'm storing the vehicles. If I was storing the vehicles for more than 6 months, maybe a fuel stabilizer is a good thing, but I'm only storing for 6 months. These cars will be out in the spring, and I don't see an issue. I haven't had an issue with fuel on these vehicles. I usually just run them, and then when I run the tank down a little bit, put some fresh gas in them and mix it in with what's in there, and I don't have an issue. I want to take a minute and talk about the future of Zephyr's Garage. This is wintertime, and this is a car channel, and unfortunately I'm putting my cars away for the winter, so I'm not going to be able to do car content on these vehicles for the next few months. That doesn't mean the channel is going away. Now, the frequency of videos may slow down a little bit. My goal is to try to put out 2 videos a month instead of 4. And we're going to try to find some other car content. Now, we also have a travel channel, and so I hope to be able to incorporate some of those travel trips to find interesting car things to share on the channel. So going forward, I hope you stay tuned to the channel and catch the videos as we put them out. Like I said, we're going to try to put out 2 a month. If we have more content, I will put more out. And then we're going to get back into the springtime, and we're going to get back into the projects on the car. And I want to give you a preview of one of the projects that we are working on. We're going to amp up the audio system on the Thunderbird. So this is a JBL subwoofer, an 8-inch subwoofer with a 125 watt amplifier. These are JBL speakers. These are the Club 86.4F, and we've got 4 of these, so we're going to place all the speakers in the car. And what I don't have yet, but will be part of this, is going to be a amplifier for the speakers, probably about 60 watts per channel. The idea here is I want to upgrade the audio system in the Thunderbird to something that's a little bit more modern, but at the same time I want to keep JBL components because it was originally a JBL system. Now, we've already upgraded the receiver in the dash to a ball punk receiver, so I think that's going to pair really nicely with this setup, and I think we're going to have a really great sounding audio system that will work with the Thunderbird and will kind of keep some of the original concept of the audio system by using all JBL components. So definitely stay tuned for that. That will be coming this spring once we get back to the garage and start working on the cars again. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it entertaining. Maybe you learned a couple of things. And if you did, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. We've got, like we said, more videos coming out. Maybe not as frequently, but we got more things coming out in the future. And until the next time, we see you guys down the road. Enjoy your drive. Take care, everybody.